While I was recording the find and replace video, replace didn't always do what I expected. It found things one way, missed them another way, and sometimes the find all preview was not as safe as it looked. I still use find and replace quite often, but there are places where it can behave in ways that feel a little bit off. You didn't get to see any of that in my find and replace video because I wanted to show you replace and find all working the way you would expect them to. So consider this a kind of behind the scenes video where you can see some of the things I encountered, how I identified them, and how to avoid changing more than you intend to when you're working with your own spreadsheets. Let's set sail. So find and replace is not just one action. You have find next, find all, replace, and replace all, and they can all feel like they're using the same setup, but the result can change depending on which path you take. So if this has happened to you, it does not mean you missed something. So for the first example, I selected column C, the storage column, and what I wanted to do was change pantry to shelf. So the first thing I did was choose find from the find and select menu, and I chose pantry. Now because I chose just the storage column, when I choose find all, I expect it to just show me the entries for pantry in that storage column. And that's exactly what it does. So you might be thinking, this looks great, and that's what I thought when I was doing it as well. So if I go in and I say pantry, I want to replace it with shelf. And watch carefully now if I choose replace all. It says it made 7 replacements, but what you'll notice is it replaced pantry in the notes column with shelf. So instead of saying pantry shelf is getting crowded, it now says shelf is getting crowded. And that's not what I want. If you encounter something like this where it's replaced more than you expected or replaced things in columns you don't have selected, just close the find and replace window, and I'm going to do undo, and you can see the notes is back to pantry shelf is getting crowded. To fix that, I'm going to reselect the pantry column, and instead of doing the find all, I'm just going to jump into replace, make sure it has pantry and find what, and shelf and replace with, and replace all. And you see it made 6 replacements this time, and it did not change the notes. This is the same sheet. I selected the same column, storage. I have the same find what, which is pantry, and the same replace with, which is shelf. And the second time when I immediately chose replace all, it only replaced the values in the storage column. And compare that to the first time when I did the find all before I did replace all, and then it replaced more than I expected. And I know this can feel confusing, but a good way to work around this if you're using find and replace is just to undo if you've already replaced too much, and then go in and directly do the replace all. But I want you to know that this is not something that you've done wrong necessarily. It's just that the path that you take sometimes makes a difference. Another problem I encountered was when I was working with this task list and I wanted to change the months from April to May. So I selected the month column because I only want to change the values in the month column. And I selected replace. I typed April and replace with May. And you can see when I click replace, Excel tells me it cannot find a match. But we can see that the word April does appear in that month column. So I'm going to click OK. And now you feel like you may have done something wrong. But again, this is just a question of the path that you're following and what Excel is seeing at that stage behind the scenes. So to fix this, I clicked Find Next, and it found the first value of April in the month column. That looks good. So now if I click Replace, it replaced that first value in the month column, which is exactly what I would expect. And I can click Replace multiple times, and it will replace each one at a time. Or at this point, I can click Replace All, and now it has made 3 more replacements because I had already made 3. So it made 6 replacements in total, and everything is the way I wanted it to be at the end. And you may be asking, how did he know to choose find next to find the first one and then start doing replace? The answer is I didn't know that when I first encountered it. When it didn't find a match originally, I had to click through a few different ways before I found a reliable method to get the result I wanted, and that is what you saw in the find and replace video. So if you're doing this on your own sheet and it's not working the way you expect, that's when you close the find and replace window, undo the change, Control Z or undo. I'm going to have to do it a couple times to get it back to where it started, and then try the replace again. Maybe doing a find, maybe trying find all, until you get what you're expecting. As it turns out, by just choosing replace, that was what caused the problem in this example. Because I've done an undo back to the beginning, if I click the month, find and select, and then replace, and now in this window, if I choose replace all, it works exactly the way I expected. And it made 5 replacements, and nothing changed outside of my selection. And it's important to note that when it tells you it made 5 replacements, that's important feedback because you want to look and say, yes, there were 5 things that I wanted to change, not 6 or 8 or 10. And if that number is bigger than you expect, that's a sign that you should maybe go ahead and click OK and close the window and undo. And that resets you back and you can try again in a slightly different way. To give you a bit of a checklist to go through specific to find and replace, make sure you select the range that you want to have changes done in. And then if replace fails, try doing a find next and make sure it finds the first result before continuing. If you used find all, don't assume that those are the only things it's going to replace. And make sure that the replacement count makes sense. And probably the most important thing is that when you do encounter something that looks wrong, you slow down, undo, and try things a little bit different to see if you can get the result that you're looking for. So until next time, I wish you smooth sailing.